Welcome back to Colorado Family Travels. It is one of my favorite vlogs. It is our 3-in-1 for Royal Caribbean, our trip on Independence of the Sea, which as of today and recording this, it's been 3 months since we've been on the trip. It's taken me a long time to do these videos and get everything set the way I wanted and getting published, so it's been 3 months, but this will be our final vlog in the Royal Caribbean Independence of the Sea series. So we're going to do our favorite 3 likes and 1 dislike. We've got our note cards, the kids filled them out, so we're going to go around and ask the questions. We're going to start with Jack. Your number 1 was the Kids Club. Tell us all about the Kids Club, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Well, the good part, there was a lot of friends. They would show you a movie. We watched part of Hotel Transylvania 3 that I didn't like. It was way too crowded.
Oh yeah, they did.
And it was, since it was like super small. So yeah.
So I know where you're going with that. So what you're trying to say is the fact that the Kids Club was smaller. There was a lot of kids. And there was at least 1 night, if not 2 nights, that you actually didn't even get into the Kids Club. They were over capacity.
Yeah.
So again, this was 2022. We're still dealing with some stuff in the world. So it was a combination of staffing, combination of the amount of kids on the trip, and limited capacity that made it a little harder for the Kids Club. And there was a lot of ages, since it was separated into age groups. As you were coming in, you'd go in through the arcade and you'd be hearing different parents go, "Oh, I can't get you in." It was the 4 to 6 year olds or the 6 to 8 year olds, the 9 to 12s. There was just different rooms would fill up at different times. So that was a little rough, but we were able to find some other things to do. So Kids Club, there was some positives, some negatives, but you had a good time when you were there. All right, we're gonna go with Jasmine. I'm not gonna start with your number 1 because I want to start with or go back to your number 1 later.
Okay.
Let's talk about music. Was your number 2? So what do you like about the music?
I really enjoyed all of the music that we heard at Perfect Day at Coco, and just music that they had playing on the ship. It was a lot of like 2000s and 2010s, and I kind of like that era of music, so I really enjoyed just like walking through the ship and like singing along with the songs.
So good and bad. As much as I like the music, and I said it way too many times in all the videos, and I apologize, I said it too much. It was hard to record with all the music in the background. Every time I tried to record, especially at the pool, I couldn't use any of the footage because of the copyrighted music. And it made sense to why we've seen so many videos that are very choppy or seem to be filmed in like weird locations when you're watching stuff on YouTube. That like, what? And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's because there was constantly music played everywhere.
Yeah.
So from a relaxation standpoint and enjoying the music, it was great. For trying to record for YouTube, it hurt. It hurt. It was hard. Jordan, let's go ahead and go with you. And your number 1 was the Teen Club. We'll go ahead and make a statement real quick. If you saw in the video, I believe it was day 1 video, Jordan got to go into the Teen Club. So you were 11, and there was a specific form that was actually printed that said, because your 11-year-old is blah, 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 you'll allow them to go into the Teen Club. So we were able to get you in the Teen Club. What do you think of that?
They had super fun games that we got to play a lot. I went in there, I think, twice on the whole trip with one of my friends that I made at Perfect Day at Coco. We had like a fun group, and then we met some other people at the Teen Club, and they had a foosball table, they had a party at like night, and it was nice getting to stay out later than the younger kids because you didn't have younger kids running around too, so that was really fun.
So curfew was 1 a.m.
Yeah, the curfew was 1. I normally stayed out till like 12 with my
45, 47, 48. But there was that. And then Jasmine was able to get into the teen club, but also had a different opinion of the teen club.
Yes. So it was a lot of me kind of hanging out on my own. And then, so personally for me, I felt like you needed a friend to run around with to make it like more enjoyable, because like with Jordan, she would be out until almost 1 a.m. playing, and I did go with them one night, and it seemed like they were having a bunch of fun along with all the other teens that were running around.
So on that, let's kind of branch off because it's a two-parter. One was, I guess, a CFT tip on making sure you have the Royal Caribbean app set up prior to getting onto the cruise. Make sure that's all set up, because one of the problems Jordan was having was, as she did meet new friends in the kids club and teen club, they didn't have the app or didn't have texting turned on that app, so you couldn't communicate.
No, so we would plan it the day before and hope that everyone remembered that, and we would just like kind of meet up from there. Just hope that everyone got there.
And it almost ended up being a scavenger hunt for me. As I was walking around, I'd see somebody I knew had Jordan had just met the day before. I'm like, oh, have you seen Jordan? I know she's over by the ice creams right now. So she went running over to meet up with her, and that was a friend you met from Florida, right?
Yeah. All of my friends that I met are all from Florida, so yeah.
So that was definitely a tip to get that app going. But then again, the girls both had comments on how they didn't like the app.
So it wouldn't, like on a normal text message, even with the Disney cruise, if somebody is to text you, will send you like a little notification. And even though me and Jordan did have our notifications turned on, the messages wouldn't pop through, so we felt it was kind of annoying to constantly have to go into the app and be like, oh, our parents texted us, and just so that was kind of annoying. But
especially when you're hanging out with your friends and you're not checking your phone, but then you realize they texted you like 10 minutes ago and you didn't realize it.
So I'm gonna go with my number one now. My number one was being on the helipad for the Sailway party. So previous cruises we've done on different cruise lines, we've been either right in the mix of the activity for the Sailway party. The rest of the family really doesn't like to be down in that huge crowd, so they were going up a deck higher and watching more of us pulling out at port. But this time we just kind of got a random idea, and we ended up finding our way to the helipad, which, whether it's for safety concerns or whatnot, wasn't on any map. We just happened to go to the right deck, out the right door, and found our way to the helipad. And there was we had 8 of us in our party, or 9 of us in our party. And there was maybe 4 or 5 other groups out there, so definitely less than 20 on the whole helipad for the Sailway. We couldn't hear the music, but we still had a really good time. We weren't crowded. It was a great view. I hate open air heights, so anything that has a balcony shorter than me, I don't like. So if I can see over the balcony, I'm not comfortable. So Sailway parties being out on the upper decks, have never been something I was comfortable with. But with the helipad, we were down on deck 5?
I
think it was deck 5. And I wasn't bothered by the height. And then an amazing part of it, put it in the video on day 1 Sail Away, we got to see dolphins at the front of the ship. So that was completely random, looking over and seeing the dolphins. And if we would have been up top, I don't know if we would have been able to see them. The fact that we were so close to the water, we were able to see it. So that was really cool. Perfect day at Coco Cay, Royal Caribbean's private island. Jasmine, what do you think?
I had an amazing time at Perfect Day at Coco Cay. Out of our whole day, I kind of liked being at the pool more, even though I love the beach, and I'm totally a beach girl who ended up in the mountains. But the pool had a very nice atmosphere, and it just was a lot of dancing and singing, and I loved that. But like my dad said, he hated it in terms of YouTube stands.
It was a lot of fun. So the island itself, very large. You can walk to get everywhere. Little intimidating when you look at the map, but it didn't end up being that big. one of the things that we thought was funny, so there is a tram that stops at 7 or 8 different spots on the island.
It was
And-
7.
It was 7. Okay, so 7 spots on the island. And so we got on the tram and went to the first stop, but it felt like it took forever to get to that first stop because we were, I'll say, backstage. There was some either cruise line buildings or cast member building or associate buildings, whatever, cruise member buildings. And so it felt like we drove for a long time to get to that first beach. And so we just got off right there and ended up spending 3 or 4 hours just sitting on that beach. Jordan, that's where you met one of your friends that first day.
We had like 7 hermit crabs. They were awesome.
Which was awesome to see, but then to realize that we're sitting on the beach and there's probably hermit crabs everywhere.
Yeah.
So that was a little weird, but it was fun. So yeah, you made a friend there that day. Jack, you were building sandcastles, having a good time.
And at the beach, be notified if you go a bit too deep in the water, there will be some seaweed that feels like stepping on slime.
Yeah.
It was weird because it wasn't very deep, but there was a little bit of a drop off, and then it went out to a bar.
Yeah, there were
a sandbar and a bar.
Sandbars.
There was a sandbar and a real bar that you could swim up to. When we were there in March, the water was still fairly cold, so we didn't get too far into the water just because it was cold. But there was people that were going all the way out.
And me and my friend actually did go out to the sandbar.
The sandbar. Yeah.
It was covered in seaweed. It felt weird.
So after 3 or 4 hours, we did hop back on the. We had lunch.
Yes.
So we had lunch at one of the quick service stops on. Was it Sunset Beach? What was the name of that beach?
Not Sunset.
I'm thinking of Hawaii, I think.
Yeah.
No.
Well, the first stop on the tram,
Yeah.
that beach area, we went to the quick food service location over there. The food, kind of like a lot of the food on the cruise that we'll get into again in a second, there wasn't a whole lot of flavor to the food. I know that's because they've got to cater to so many different types of tastes and dietary needs. But like the mozzarella sticks were just very bland. It was fun to have the mozzarella sticks, but they were very bland.
Yeah. The funnel cake was good.
They had a funnel cake, and it was one of the few places on the island, even in any of the other stops too, that had funnel cakes. So that was really good. What were you going to say, Jess?
I was going to mention that I don't remember this name of the beach or what tram stop it was, but there was this beach that was kind of right as you got off the gangway, I want to say. And we felt like that was the perfect beach. And then, if you went a little bit farther, you would get into the pool. So we felt like that beach was a very good beach.
All the different food locations on the island had a little bit different options. The one next to the W Beach, I think it's top 5. I got a taco over there.
Yeah, there was like
tacos?
tacos.
Yeah, there was tacos.
Just not learning about this.
There were so many different foods there.
There was ice cream machines at a lot of different places.
Yes.
That was good. So we got to do that. Got a couple different ice cream cones and stuff. Restrooms and showers out on the island were nice and well maintained.
Yeah.
There was volleyball courts. There was all kinds of activities to do. We definitely wish we had more time there.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
One of the things that we thought was funny and we caught ourselves doing, it was our favorite private island experience.
Yeah.
Even over another cruise line that we travel a lot. So it was really weird to say that Perfect Day at Coco Cay was better, in our opinion, than Castaway Cay for the Disney Cruise Line. But overall, we thought Perfect Day at Coco Cay was a lot of fun. And can't wait to go back. So let's move on to another one. So let's talk about food. Let's talk about, Jasmine, one of your likes was the smaller food locations.
I felt like the smaller food locations, like I'm gonna butcher this name. Sorrento's.
I add an I to it every time.
I the pizza
Sure.
location on the Royal Caribbean. I felt like that was really good. They had good like pizza, and then they also had a couple of other like snacky stuff.
Ooh, they had
that
some
were
good desserts.
And then there was.
It was a lot of the items that were on the menu up at Windjammers that they would either bring down after lunch or whatnot out of the stage. So I felt like it came from the same kitchen. So it was a lot of those desserts and then a lot of small plate items, sauteed mushrooms and all of that type of stuff.
And then the cafe
Promenade.
they also had really good food, and there were like sandwiches and just another great place to go. So personally, I felt like it was better to go to the smaller food locations compared to like Windjammers or the main dining room. I felt like the food quality went up a little bit.
And Jack, you had 6 pieces of pizza a day? So I'm going to go with another of my favorites, and the last on my favorites list, Playmakers. So it was a additional paid experience, very minimal charge. I think we ended up getting almost everything, if not everything, on the menu, and I think our bill was less than $40.
Yeah.
We didn't get any specialty drinks. Actually, no. Mom did get a mocktail. Mom got a mocktail. They did give us our. We had the drink package for the adults, so they gave us those. You guys had lemonades, I think, didn't you?
Yeah.
So, but the Playmakers was probably second best food for me, at least. But some of the best food we had on the ship, the nachos were really good. The tower of onion rings.
Yeah.
We had some of the wings. The wings were good.
Pretzel bite.
Yeah.
We had
Those fries were
a
good.
lot.
Those fries were good.
Yes.
So I mean, Playmakers, it was an additional fee, but it was definitely worth it. But then again, my favorite on the whole ship was fish and chips. I got the cod and the shrimp, and again, that was an additional charge, but prepared individually. I had to wait about 10 minutes, so it was fresh. So that was kind of the theme, at least for what we saw, was the paid dining experiences. The food was really good. The main dining room, the food was good, but you had to make some adjustments to it, either adding salt or adding pepper or adding something to it. It was good, but there was just that little additional you had to do to it. And I think that's what you find when they're serving so many people with so many different tastes.
And our mom is not here right now, but if she were here, I'm pretty sure she would mention that pretty much every pasta dish that she got was really salty.
Yeah.
So, just keep that in mind.
Yeah.
If you're on like a low sodium diet, don't really go for the pastas.
That was it. That was interesting. That she had the spaghetti one night. She had another pasta dish, and every time she had pasta, it was really salty. So it was funny that we even mentioned that here we are most of the time, the flavors just weren't coming out, and then with pasta, it was over salty.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Dislikes. So Jack, one of your dislikes was the small kids club. And we already talked about that. Staffing, too many people, that type of stuff. So small kids club there. Jasmine, let's talk about, as you had a hard time finding activities to do, TV and the TV channels.
Yes. Okay. So Royal Caribbean
On this ship,
on
Independence
this
of the
ship,
Sea.
on Independence of the Sea, did not have good TV channels. They had some channels, but for the ones that we would find, they didn't play like newer stuff. So it was a lot of like things from like when our parents were kids. So a lot of 90s and 80s and
early 2000s.
Early 2000s, like a bunch of that era. So for me, I did find like a couple things I liked watching, but there was not very many options.
So I didn't do a whole lot of research, but I remember Royal Caribbean at one point had some kind of deal with Nickelodeon. And so a lot of the shows, there was 3 different channels. There was like an infant channel,
Yeah.
a children channel, and like a teen channel.
Yeah.
And it was funny because based on which channel you were on, it was 3 different versions of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the teen version, a lot of the stuff I remember, but I couldn't quite place. And it was, either early aughts, early 2000s. There was, I think, Clarissa Explains It All was on one of the channels.
That was on a while.
Big Time Rush.
Big Time Rush was on. So some shows that we remembered, but like the girls knew Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Yes.
It's like, wait a minute, isn't that Sabrina? We're like, yeah, that's Melissa Joan Hart.
Big Time Rush and Clarissa
Explains It All.
Explains It All. Those were the couple of shows that we watched, but they were only on like for 1 hour out of the whole day. So for me, before we go on our next cruise, I would definitely download some stuff on your phone.
Yeah.
Because then I feel like that would just give you things to do because, like I said, for me, somebody who didn't make a whole lot of friends, it would give me something to do after we're done.
Now again, Royal Caribbean, Independence of the Sea, we have seen other vlogs where they do reviews and there's more TV options, there's on-demand options, just more channels with more variety on some of the other ships. So just for Independence of the Sea, I know we ended up watching some really old 80s movies that just happened to be on one of the channels.
We watched Say Anything.
Yeah, we saw Say Anything with the boombox scene.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that movie in probably 30 years.
Dr.
So
Dolittle,
definitely a lot of 80s and 90s and 2000s.
Yeah,
Anything after that, you're not going to find on Independence.
Also, on the TV in my room, we saw Bubble Guppies.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
on
that
the kids channel,
was there.
Well, that is early.
But again, that's
that
a
is early.
Nickelodeon show. It was there was Bubble Guppies. A lot of time on the phone afterwards going, wait, what was that show? And it was Big Time Rush that we had a hard time trying to figure out what it was. But so TV, we found some stuff to watch, but definitely like Jasmine said, if you have plans on a lot of downtime, it would be good to have that on personal electronic devices like your iPads, that type of stuff. One of my dislikes, beyond the food, flavor of food, crowds in the lounges during activities and trivia. So a lot of the activities that we went to ended up being in Schooner's Bar, right off of the casino, and there was just more people than I think they expected to be involved in those. On our last day at sea, it was St. Patrick's Day, and we tried to do origami and ribbon tying.
Yeah.
And there was just so many people, and there was people everywhere, and it was, it was almost a complete opposite of what they were preaching, with all these small groups and not getting too many people in one area. And here we are shoving everybody into Schooner's Bar.
I felt like Royal Caribbean had a hard time with having way too much space for an activity and not having enough space, so just kind of trying to figure that out.
But then I think the same thing could be said for, we did bingo inside the Starlight Lounge?
Starlight Lounge.
And there was plenty of room. It didn't seem like it was too crowded in there. But bingo went a little bit long, and the silent dance party was immediately after bingo. And the silent dance party line was down the promenade, and there was a huge line for it, and just a lot of people trying to get into the silent dance party. So it was one thing. I mean, just a lot of people for what was going on, and for our cruise, we were 80%.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, like 80 or 75.
So we had some pretty high numbers. I mean, it is out of Port Canaveral. It was a 4-day. It was during spring break. So a lot higher occupancy than some of the other vlogs that we've seen from the same period or even still currently. So we had a lot of people on that ship, and I don't think they were quite ready to be back at that occupancy.
But the one thing I did like though, me and my friend went to this like magician comedian, and he was super funny, but there wasn't a lot of people there, so that was super nice. And it was in one of the theaters. I forgot what it was called though.
So again, with that whole having not enough space and having too much space.
So I think there was like at least 20 people in that whole theater. Yeah.
So a little bit scattered, but that's our 3 and 1, 3 likes, 1 dislike. I know we were able to find 3 likes. It was hard to limit our dislikes to just 1. This was our first Royal Caribbean. Everything we've said, good, bad, and different. We've got another Royal Caribbean trip coming up.
And
We
we're
will
planning
be.
more for the future.
We are planning more for the future, but our next one we will be going in October. We'll be doing the Southern Caribbean, doing the ABC Islands. But we'll be doing that coming up. And then we have a third one coming up. We're going next year. We'll be going out to Alaska.
Yes.
So we're
Yeah.
really excited for that one. So that'll be in June of next year. That's going to be on Quantum of the Seas. I have that one written down. I have Quantum of the Seas written down, but I don't have our October trip coming up. And that's kind of the funny thing too, is that, we're really excited to go to the Southern Caribbean, experience the ABC Islands, and do that. But we're super excited for Alaska. So it's been kind of hard to temper back our excitement for all of our trips. So.
Learning more about Alaska than the one actually coming up.
So either way, we have lots of more fun to come. That is going to wrap up our Royal Caribbean Independence of the Sea, our first Royal Caribbean trip. We hope you enjoyed coming along with us, watching the vlogs, enjoying what we have to offer. Put a comment down in the bottom with what you thought of our trip, anything you'd like to see us look more into, anything experiences, any questions you might have. We can come back and address it again. I think we will close it there, and we will end as we always end. Now for us,
it's back to the rat race.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great day.